Okay, hi Wendy. Just a quick video to answer your question about the 10 research articles and 2 literature reviews that are required for your critical inquiry assignment. Basically, really simply, research articles they're a report that's normally written by people that have conducted research. So they're the transcript from a randomized clinical control trial or a case study or any of those type of things that are directly reporting on results from a scientific study. So I'm going to send you this little thing that I downloaded from the library, which basically explains what they are, and research articles are primary sources. So up at the top here, it's got basically what a primary source is, and it includes your experiments, your trials, and your research project. So that's your research article that they're referring to. And so that can be pilot studies, cohort studies, any survey data, case studies, clinical trials, as I said, the randomized clinical control trial, and dissertations. Now, the literature review is a secondary source, and you needed, how many of those? You needed 2 literature reviews. So they are basically a review of primary sources. So they're a review of some research articles that have already previously been done. So talking in terms of St. John's Wort, you will find literature reviews that have gone and looked at a whole group of different studies that have been conducted using St. John's, let's say with an SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, for well, it could be for any reason, but they basically have parameters that they will conduct a search like you do, and they will go in and they will find all of the articles that have been registered that report on a specific study, so a direct study report, and they'll then collaborate all of those together and review them and come up with their own conclusions based on that data. That's a secondary source, that's a literature review. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send through a literature review that I did for advanced nutrition, I think it was, where it actually does talk, where I actually sort of talk about what that is in terms of how I went about the search and things like that. I think that was in here anyway. Purpose of the review. So yeah, it's gives you just something to go by, I suppose. With your assignment that you've got here, you also need to formulate a research question, which is, I'm not sure if they've used PICO with you guys. That's what they normally do. So a PICO question is population. You're looking at, I'll just bring this one up for you. Where is my PICO? Yeah, so PICO it's like a tool. This is one of my assignments where I've actually formulated a PICO question. So this will help you to actually get your question that you've got to state in the assignment too. But basically it's a tool to specify a treatment-related educational needs by defining the components of the clinical question, such as the characteristics of the patient, population or problem, that's your P, the intervention, which is the agent or the the therapy that you're going to use, exposure or independent variable, which is defining more of the intervention. So it's basically sort of giving the intervention how it's being given. It's defining all of the different things surrounding that. A comparison, so that's obviously going to be a placebo or an alternative to the intervention, and then a measurable outcome. So that's your PICO. You've got population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. So basically, a literature review is going to have a research question such as the PICO framework question that it's trying to answer, and that's when it then goes and gets all of the research articles that are within the criteria that they've stipulated for that particular topic of that question, and then they review those articles and come up with their own conclusion to whether or not their PICO question was answered. So I'm going to send you this here too as well, so you've got that. We'll go in a second and actually go into the library and I'll do a search and just show you how I would go about trying to find both your literature reviews and your primary article, your research articles. But first of all, I just want to give you a quick look at this. This is just a little template. I don't know if it's going to work for you or not. You could try recording yourself talking instead of writing it down for you to listen to again later. But basically, this is just a template for when you're going through and finding articles. If you open one up and you're reading it and there are some parts in that you find relevant and you want to use it, you can use this to record it. So the worst thing is going back and having to try and find articles that you did read at some stage and you know that there was a really valid point in there, but you can't go and find it again. So it just helps you to be organised and save some time. But basically you just put, all the details here: author, title, location, journal. You can actually put the link there if you want to do it like that. And then you're going to put down what the key concepts were that you wanted to record, any notes, quotes, or content page numbers, and then any comments or anything else that you want to put there that triggers your memory to link it into your assignment. That's just a little template that I will send through to you as well. That's good to use if it works for you. So just have a go with that and see how it goes. Search strategies. So this here, I think I have another one here. Yeah, so this is just a little planner that helps you to actually go into, let's say, EBSCO Discovery and find the articles without having to sift through thousands and thousands of them. You still will have to read a lot, as I've mentioned before, and there will be crap ones and there will be relevant ones, and it does take time. So remember to keep your topics you choose interesting for you, and like you have done, really, really smart move is keep topics for across different subjects. If you've already done the research, you'll end up becoming a specialist in it, but it does save a lot of time, and you get a really deep understanding of things when you have to use the same research or the same topic for research, but applying it to different assessments. It really does richen your knowledge on that particular topic. So picking the database that you need is the first thing you need to do. We want full text. That's what I don't look for anything else apart from full text. And then you want to map out your research topic, and that's where you use this one here. So basically, what is your research topic? What is it that you're trying to find articles on? So as an example, you're going to be doing St. John's wort, or Hypericum perforatum, I think that's how it's pronounced. So you would do St. John's wort here, and then you do botanical name here. So that's it will search for anything that's either got those two terms. And then you would put in here whatever the other components of your PICO question were. So let's just say this, as an example, this one here has got discuss the impact of external factors that can influence food quality and safety throughout the whole food system from farm to fork. So farming methods, blah, blah, blah. So if you were to search that, you would, as their example down here, they've got concept 1 is food safety, and then you list synonyms under that. So food toxicology, or food safety risks, or food and drug administration, or food additives. So you would choose those to go in the ORs, and food processing, or cooking methods, or food production, etc. And another one would be farming, or organic farming. So you get the idea. Basically, use your ands and ors properly. And this is just a planner. If you use that, it might actually help to streamline it a bit. So synonyms are one thing that you want. The and the or, which are your Boolean operators. Sometimes you have to go into advanced search, and I don't ever worry about truncation. Different databases do work differently. So, and always remember to save them. If you find something, don't just read it and close it. Save it, and save it in the relevant folder for that subject, for that particular assignment, so all of your research is there. And this is a really good point here. Knowing what to search is the key to good searching. Before you begin, consider doing some background reading on the topic, and have an extensive and relevant vocabulary for the topic is essential. And that's where your scientific terminology comes into play, because a lot of these research articles will use that type of terminology. Okay, I'm going to stop this video, send that one through to you, and then I'm going to record another one where I'll actually go and do a search with your topic of St. John's wort, and just give you an example. Okay, talk to you soon.